Hey everyone, I was supposed to have my little envelopes out here to show you what I've been working on. Aren't these fun? I saw this idea on Jolly Jams. I just put I had printed on an index card, so I just put that in here. But I saw this idea on Jolly Jam journals, and this one I kind of made like she did, except she used like a glassine bag. And that made me think of all of these wax papers that I tea dyed or copy dyed, tea, I believe. And I was sad because the middle, I mean, while it's still dyed, it's not as dark as the outside. And when I saw these, I thought, oh my gosh, that would be perfect for this paper. So that's what I did. I took her idea and made these. And I love it. That was such a great idea. It never occurred to me to use embossing powder on them like this. And then I just put a piece of my age tape. This actually looks better in person. It looks kind of blurry in the picture, but it's actually really cool. I used kind of a green embossing powder on that. Did some stamping. This is napkin. That's napkin. Those are real postage stamps that I got from Miss Pearl. And then this is napkin and some more embossing powder. Now this certified is stamped in red, and when I did it, it came out really bold red. But I took some of this foundry wax, which she used in her video, and kind of rubbed over it, and it really made it look good and aged. But I thought that turned out really pretty. So there was one of them. And the other one I made a little bit smaller because that's the piece I had left of paper. A little bit of embossing powder back there. More napkin, did some stamping, used a leaf stamp there, did the same thing on the certified. This is napkin, and then just did more stamping. But on the inside of this one, I just put, some ephemera that I grunched up on this one. I made a tin type with a background. It's kind of hard to see. I got it a little bit dark. But I thought this might be cute in one of these bags. It might peek through a little bit and look kind of neat. Well, it doesn't really, but anyway, that's something you could put in there and tuck it in a journal. And I thought we could make one of these today. I have a whole bunch of this paper, so I'll bring some of it to my next sale. And then I'll probably bring some of these envelopes. So you have the, either if you want to make some of your own, I'll have the paper. And if you don't want to make any, but you like them, I'll hopefully have some of these. So I thank you, Jolly Jam Journals, for this idea because I really, really liked how this turned out. So again, when I tore these, they're just random sizes. I put them between wallpaper. That's when I did that. It's been a minute. So I put them between wallpaper as I was dyeing because I didn't know if the wallpaper would leave a sticky residue. And I thought, well, if it does, this wax paper would soak it up. And it just turned out so pretty. So what I did was I just folded up the sides. I'm just making my own envelopes. I think she used envelopes maybe that were already made. So, I mean, it's not like you have to make your own. This is just how I thought would be a nice idea to use this paper. And, of course, my cutting skills are not the best. So, I'm sure the sides are not even. That's why that one looks all cattywampus. But I love the fact that she used foundry wax. Now, mine's called Statue. I don't remember the color that she used. So I'm just folding up a little edge on each side. Doesn't matter how much because we're going to tear most of it off. And then I just folded it up. So, however big you want your pocket to be. And then I just folded the top down. And I didn't get particular with if the sides were even or whatnot, and because I tore it with a ruler, And I liked how that looked, you know, just like maybe it was an old, torn, really old envelope. So I didn't get real particular with everything lining up. I kind of liked the way that that extra hanging out looks. So after I folded everything, then I opened it all up and just miter cut on the centerpiece on both sides. Did a little cut. And then at first I cut along the line to make sure it was good and straight. And then I decided, no, I wanted it to be kind of jagged. So I just took my ruler, laid it up against that edge and pulled, you know, tore it where it would kind of have a frayed edge. And do the same on the bottom. I don't know if you've ever torn things with a ruler before. I didn't have a lot of luck with it. And I figured out my problem was I always had it turned the other way. So then there's a little ledge because of this cork. I needed to turn it upside down where it was laying flush with the paper. And I realize I'm not telling you anything you probably don't already know, but in case there's anyone out there like me that didn't realize why it wasn't working, because I saw all, you know, so many creators would tear their paper like this, and I thought, why can't I get that to tear evenly? Well, I wasn't doing it right, of course. Tear the bottom, or the top, actually. This is the top. There's my line. Okay. And then before I actually glued it, tear a little bit more of that. Before I actually glued it up, what I did everything before I glued it because, of course, the front and back, and you can glue it. It's not going to seep through. But in my head, I was concerned about, you know, when I put the napkin on, that the glue would glue the two together, like maybe it would seep through, and it didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it this time. But before that, I didn't because I was afraid it would seep through. Not this glue, but the stick glue from the napkin. And I may not even use napkin on this one. I'm not sure. I guess I will, because I'll show you how I've done it. I did it, which I have tutorials on that kind of decoupaging a napkin just with a glue stick. And that was another thing that was nice, is this napkin, you know, it doesn't dry translucent because it's not wet. I didn't wet glue it. I just used a stick glue. So it isn't completely clear. And I think that's why, but I did go over it with some of the foundry wax and helped it to look really old. But I think that's why I'm probably not going to use it this time. I'm not sure. So there's our envelope. And then if it looks kind of funny at this point, just refold it. That's the nice thing about this wax paper, is it's so forgiving. I mean, you can refold it, fold it, whatever. So I'm just going to do some stamping. I guess I could, I have some of these. It's sample, and I think it might be the same one that she used. I have this. It's called Dates from the Past Part 2. And I got this off of Amazon. It's probably in my storefront. And then I think this is also sample. If you can see the signatures in there. I don't know which one it is, because that was during my, I'm going to get all my stamps together and organize and do the storage and all the things. And it just didn't work out. But anyway. So, let's see. Let's get the stamps. I have, put the ruler up. I have some, like I say, I have some real stamps here that I got from Miss Pearl. Actually, I didn't get them from Miss Pearl. Joe got them from Miss Pearl for me as a gift. And I like using the real stamps because there's not, I mean, I use them on collages and stuff like that, but I really like using them on this. So I'm going to, instead of the napkin stamp, I'm going to use this. And then I think I will take my stamps and maybe stamp some over it. Sorry about the mess. It's always a mess on my desk, isn't it? I better stamp this on something first because I'm not sure if it's upside down or not. And it was. So I'm glad I did that. Okay. Not that it matters. I'm sure there's postage marks that are upside down. It's kind of sideways, and that's okay. Looks more realistic that way. Just use whatever stamps you have. You don't even have to have a postmark stamp. Just anything will work. I've got this little Paris stamp here. And I don't fret if it doesn't come out because, again, that's part of, I think, making it look old. And I was looking for some of those identification cards, those faux identification cards I had, because I wanted to use one of those and maybe stamp identification and then put one of those fake cards in here. And of course, I couldn't find one, so we'll just stick with the certified. But I found, I'm going to take one of these signatures and put it up here. It's an awful big one, but that's okay. That looks kind of neat, doesn't it? It looks almost like it's written in pencil. I like that. And then in the middle, I guess we could, let's see, what do I got left on this napkin? I really think I would rather use a stamp. Maybe I'll use some of the napkin as like decoration on the back, just so you can see how I did it, but totally not necessary. Here's one that says register. I'm going to use the red on this one. And it stays on black cherry. I'm not even worrying too much that I got all the letters because, again, it's going to be really bright. I might stamp some of it off and then put it on there. Yeah, see, that way it doesn't really turn out too good, and I like that. Did I have it in the window? Yeah. I'm going to take this grand something. I don't know what it... I thought maybe it was the name of a place. It kind of seemed like it would be good to use as the place, you know, that was receiving the mail. And then I did have this that was like a complete address. So I'm just going to do part of it. Like maybe, you know, it seems like back when there was really only 2 lines instead of 3. And I thought of that after I did that first one. Because I made it, well, look at that. That's just crooked as all get out. That's okay. Leaving it. Yeah. Okay, so on the back here, this one that's curved, I'm going to put it at, kind of at the top. And like she says in her video, it's just really a matter of where you put your, you know, decorating with stamps. And you cannot go wrong with this, I don't think. I bet Carol can tell me what this stuff says. And again, it's not coming off very good because my black is about to dry up. And I actually did get a refill. I think it's here. I just need to refill it. There we go. And then where's the one about the note? We'll put it on there too. And then maybe we take some of our pretty napkin think I was going to use my water pen and kind of go around this a little bit, but I don't really think I need to. I think I'm going to do it kind of like that and then just tear along that when it gets dry, maybe. I don't know. Kind of wanted it to, maybe I'll just do something like this. That's pretty. So I just took my glue stick, put down a patch of that, laid and the white ply is already off. I had already tore that off. Let's see what else we got here. I'm not even using my glue or my water pen to cut around my napkin. I'm just gluing some down. Probably putting too much on it. Too many things. Probably sometimes less is more. I probably should just quit, but here I go. Now I'm not loving this down here. Wonder if I can get it back up. Ooh. Ooh, I like the torn look. Because it's not all coming up, but look, doesn't that look neat? I like that better than this whole piece. I'm going to do it again over here. Yeah, I like that way better. I'm sorry if you think I've ruined it, but I love that way better. Where it's kind of torn and I mean, I'm even taking out part of the flowers. I'm just taking my fingernail and kind of lightly going over it, and it's tearing really nicely. Oh, I love that. Love how that looks. Okay. Maybe I should put one more little thing up here. And again, I'm going to do the same thing after I glue it down. I'm going to pull some of it off. That time I just didn't even glue the whole thing down. But I still don't want that much. There. Maybe that'll do it. And then I'm going to stamp over that and use the embossing part. I wonder if I should put a little bit of... no, I need to quit doing. I'm going to overdo it. So let's get out our embossing inks, our embossing powders. And I used different ones, but I found I like this one best. And it came with the kit Joe sent me. And I think it's just brown, but it kind of has a bronzy tone to it. I like it. So here is my script stamp. I'm just going to go a little bit right here. A paper out here. So I like that. And I may put a little bit of something over here. Maybe I'll put I like the leaf. Maybe I'll put the leaf again. I think she used a butterfly. I do have a little butterfly here, so maybe I'll just use that. I wonder about doing it in a different color. I don't know. I saw this antique linen there. Let's see what this looks like. I don't know if you can see it very well. So I'm going to go ahead and use the heat gun on this. kind of blends in with the paper, but I think it looks really neat. Can you see it? And then I really love this. That brown. Ooh, that looks so good. Love this. Love how that looks. So, may do something on the back. And I liked doing it all the way up so that, you know, it kind of looks like that's where you've opened it or whatever. Let's see, what color do I want to use? Do I want to... That just kind of looks like glue, so I'm not going to use that. I think I'll stick with the brown. That is really fun. I really like this. And I think the brown is still my favorite. And I think I'm probably putting way too much stuff on this, but I really do like it. Okay, now for the foundry wax. And she just took her fingers, and I did do it with my fingers some too. But another thing, I like putting it on with the sponge. And I don't know if I finished what I was saying earlier. I was so tickled when I saw her using the foundry wax because I have like, I don't know, 2 or 3 different colors in this. It makes good stuff for your fingernails. I have 2 or 3 different colors in this, but I've never used it because I didn't know what to do with it. You know, not like I couldn't have watched a tutorial like I did, but I didn't take the time to do it, I guess. And I really like how this stuff looks. I like that it gives it a kind of an old look. I wonder about running it over that embossing. It'd make it show up a little better. Ooh, it does. That's pretty. Okay. So I just put a little bit on my sponge and then went around the edge. And again, don't get too particular with getting it everywhere or even or anything like that. I think that's what helps it to look the best is when it doesn't look perfect. And this is, again, statue is the color of this. And see how it just kind of gives it a more of an aged look? It dries really fast, too. I did this on some of, I just kind of went over the envelope itself in spots just to give it another look to it. But this foundry wax seems to dry pretty fast, or you could take your heat gun and do it. And if you don't have foundry wax, you don't, I mean, you could do it with your distress inks. I just liked using it because I've had it for so long and never even tried it. I'll try to use some distress ink on this just to show you. I'm sure it will work just as good. The nice thing about using this wax paper that's been dyed is, you know, it already kind of has, you know, the distressed edge. So there's really not a lot you have to do to it for it to look old. It already does look old. That foundry wax just really sets it off, though, I think. But actually, I think I like the foundry wax better than I do the distress ink. But there's your little pocket. How fun is that? I love it. Or your little envelope, I should say. I love it. I loved her idea. I just think this was a great way to use these. Let's see. Do I have some extra pieces of little ephemera here? I guess I could use this one. I didn't. I took it out of the other one. You could tuck some things like that. Gosh, I just think something like this will look so good in like this journal that I was making. Gosh, I love this. Look at that. Won't that look good in there? Just tucked in or even over a page or just clipped onto the side. Just gives it such a great look. I love this idea. I'm going to be making more of these. I have to. They're just so cool. Look at these. I think this is the one that I put the little tin type in. But I think these are fun. fast, and I mean, so much fun. So beautiful. So easy. Just find some napkins that you have that maybe have writing, or use stamps, or just whatever you have. Any of it's going to work just great. I hope that you love these and will give it a try. Go check out her video. Again, I'm sure it's slightly different than mine. She uses all kinds of different envelopes, I think. I'm positive that hers are different than this, and they're really neat. And she uses different things as well, and she uses napkins and all the things, etc. You will love the ideas. I think that it will spark your imagination too. And hopefully I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to bring some of this paper on Friday at my live sale. And I hope to have some of these. And maybe, wouldn't it be fun to have some of these with the little tin type tucked in? I think that's fun. I think that's really fun. I need to learn how to, I think this gilded wax would look really neat on this background. I didn't do a very good job there, as you can tell. I was wanting it, I embossed this black piece, and I was wanting it to be raised up enough that I could put some of that gilded wax. Is it, oh, it's foundry wax. Have I been calling it the wrong thing all night? I'm so sorry. So sorry. Foundry wax. I wanted to put some of that on here and make it look all nice. But you know what? I bet that embossing powder would work just as good, wouldn't it? Maybe I'll have to try that. Very fun. Love these. I hope that you do. Thank you for watching. God bless, and I will see you next time. Bye.